And we are live. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Yeah, so let's just start right off the bat. Jeff, how dare you? How dare you go onto another podcast? Unbelievable.
I can't believe it happened. Yeah. No, I'm just a little bit less jealous because I'm just following in your footsteps, right?
No. Listen, when I go on a podcast, that's one thing, but two wrongs don't make a right. We're building a family here of new dad. Okay. All kidding aside, Jeff had the opportunity to be on Story Mode Podcast, Jeff. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. Hung out with Blue and Ryan at Story Mode PC podcast. It was a good time. They went over a lot of stuff that kind of applied to our show, and we, went over our own experiences and stuff. And it's a really good show. Again, if you catch this week, I'm on, like Trevor mentioned, and then last episode Trevor was on, so you get the best of both worlds. Yeah. You subscribe to both, you get both.
If you ever wondered, like, what's Trevor like without Jeff, and what's Jeff like without Trevor?
Right?
But I'd like to see it as peanut butter and chocolate, where it's pretty good on their own, but better together.
That's right. I like
that was the last time they ever recorded a podcast episode. Yeah. But so I'll mimic that. Check them out. Story Mode PC podcast. Story Mode podcast. Wonderful show, and we are incredibly grateful that we had the opportunity, and it was a ton of fun. I listened to the episode already. It launched by the time you're listening to this. So, I can vouch for it. That was a great episode. Listened straight through.
Nice.
So cheers and thank you. Now, the bit of an interesting story that happened, and I think it was mostly about perspective, where as a dad, you think you're doing something kind of cute and interesting, but then you finally put yourself in someone else's vantage point, and it's somebody might call the cops on you.
Okay. Wow.
So every day I drive my youngest to daycare, and pull up, grab his backpack, everything else. What he loves to do, like, it's a fun, cute, charming little thing he does, is I'll unbuckle him, and then I'll come around to let him out, or we'll go up to daycare.
Yeah.
And for him, it's like, let's play this game. Tee hee hee. I'm gonna run away from Daddy, and I'm gonna jump into the back into the trunk. And classic dad. I open the door. Where is he? Where did he go?
All the other parents in the parking lot are, what is this guy doing?
And then I open up the trunk, and there he is, and then he jumps out of the trunk, and okay, haha, great, perfect day. Now for me, I adore it. Like, he's laughing his head off. This is a great, fun thing we do every day. I thought for a second, from the perspective of the people in the daycare, what they see is me roll up every day, open my trunk, and get my kid out of the trunk.
Yeah.
Let him into daycare.
Get out.
And it's almost like I swear, I just had that morbid thought that one day. I'm like, oh God, if they don't connect the dots, what they think is I just throw my kid in the back of my car into the trunk, and then drive to school haphazardly, and just let them out when it comes time.
I think it would be better that they see it, though, than just hear it from your child in daycare.
I go in because the best part is he also says, I'm running. Damn, that's even worse, Jeff, because he says, haha, I'm running away from Daddy.
Oh no.
So his story would be, I run away from my dad into the trunk, and then he lets me out.
Right.
Which is so much worse.
Every morning. Right. Yeah.
So
maybe,
I think as a matter of showmanship, I'm going to have to get out of the car, go to his side before I unbuckle him, open the door and show daycare. You see he's safely in his car seat, and then proceed to do the whole song and dance.
Yeah.
I
don't know. That's brave of you, and brave of you because if your wife ever drops off your child in the morning and not used to the routine, it's going to be supremely frustrating for her.
I could say we have there was another one totally unrelated, but it we were gifted. Now, this is not necessarily something I would buy, but we were very kindly gifted a Power Wheel.
Okay. Yeah.
So the tiny motorized versions of it was a Jeep, like so a tiny battery powered Jeep for kids.
Yeah.
Right, you've probably seen them.
That's awesome.
Or in my world, there's always like that was the rich kid's toy.
Yeah.
Like, and then if I ever got to touch one, it was always out of batteries. But my one kid is staying at home for homeschooling because of the pandemic. My daycare kid goes to daycare. Isn't it going to be so great if we drive this thing to school and pick up your brother?
Ah. Okay.
Right? So your dad gears are turning. You're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a great dad.
Look
this
at
kid's
me.
this kid's gonna love it. So we try now. First thing is, as we're driving, we get about halfway, and I'm like, if this thing dies,
Oh no.
like it's gonna be a huge push for like 20 minutes in the sun.
Yeah.
Damn. Secondly, though, is that we pull up, and I guess I didn't. In some ways, I didn't think it through, but it just became the greatest thing these kids had ever seen. Where like 15 kids just like slam onto the fence. Oh, I want to ride. Oh, it's Sam's Jeep. Oh, can I go for a ride? Can I do? I just caused pandemonium.
Right.
Right. I wasn't thinking it through. Like, oh, I'm going to bring this big shiny toy truck that kids love, and just parade it in front of a bunch of jailed kids.
Yeah.
Like, what could go wrong?
But you did.
And I did. And I'm apologizing to the teachers. I'm like, I am sorry. I didn't think this would cause such a commotion. I kind of thought you'd be inside.
When you apologize though, did you at least get in the vehicle and slowly drive away and be like, "I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry." Meep meep. Oh, and he honked. Man, he rolled. My older son, loving the attention, rolls up and starts honking the horn. Just at all these other kids, like, as if it's not obnoxious enough that I've done this. Ned, can you relate to either of those two stories around? This is fun and harmless. Oh God, what will other parents think? Or I think this will be a great idea, and then only to realize too late, like, wow, that was not well thought out.
Well, kind of. It maybe it doesn't look bad to like daycare or other parents, but like I mentioned before, I would do the daycare routine with dropping off my kids. It just worked out how I had to get to work in that time. So I would almost like play tag with my kids. Like I would chase them to get out of the car, and then I would run to the door and let them in, and it would be like this fun game. But when my wife had to do it, like one day, they're like, "What's this? Why aren't you running and trying to catch me?" Like, Mom, come on. So it's like setting up those things where you're not thinking, who else might be impacted by these little, dadisms.
Dad decisions.
Yeah.
And that really comes about when I'll sometimes be like throwing them around.
Yes.
And my wife will be like, then they'll ask like, oh, like throw me. And you're like, I can't, I just can't do that, son.
Yeah. The wrestling
because as a dad too, like I'm particularly awful at like throwing really high, like really.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, especially when, I wrestle with my kids all the time. I don't know why. I need to expel my own energy. But when they want to wrestle my wife, my wife's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. Get off me.
Yeah.
Oh, too good. But I mean, what's really wonderful about that, though, is that you do that because you're a great dad.
Right.
And I would almost say you could have won Gaming Dad Victory of the Week, except you're on the show, so you can't. But fortunately, we have a great Gaming Dad Victory of the Week, and we are excited to get into it.
Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad, and often their kids, who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well.
So, this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week was submitted to us on Twitter by Gaming Dad Torey. Torey, thank you so much for reaching out, and this story is absolutely fantastic. Just adore it. So let's bring up the photo for those watching the live stream. But to Jeff, why don't you quickly describe the photo that Torey sent in to us?
So the photo has, as any dad would be, on the couch with the gaming controller in his lap, ready to go and to game. And then his little son is hanging out on his back in the best costume ever, Spider-Man, playing his Switch. So he's there with his dad, both gaming together, and it looks amazing. So
It's so like, oh, it's so perfect. It's such a well captured gaming moment, and the fact that they can do that together.
yeah,
The costume, the Switch, and the kids like looking right at the camera as he takes this photo, as if to say like, "I know what's up." But let's describe it in Torey's own words. So right after the beginning of my year, sorry, I'll try that again. Right after the beginning of the year, one more time, I'll take that. Right after the beginning of the year, my 3-year-old discovered Minecraft via 10-year-old daughter and her Switch. Well, as it goes, they've been fighting over who gets to play when. Me, being the gaming dad and attempting to problem solve, went out to Best Buy and picked up a second copy of Minecraft for my Switch for my son. Great gaming dad move.
yes,
Divide and conquer. Perfect. Well, he has dived in deep, asking how to do this or that. Unfortunately, me not knowing much of all the other basics of Minecraft, other than well, he has dived in deep, asking how to do this or that. Unfortunately, me not knowing much of all other than the basics of Minecraft, always refer to my 10-year-old, which luckily has happily helped on many occasions. So we have a gaming kid helping another gaming
Yeah.
kid too.
That's a
That
good
is
connection.
amazing.
yeah.
So it continues. Now my son talks in his sleep about zombies, endermen, and creepers. Should I be concerned? Luckily not in nightmare form though. He happily sits on my back or next to me while I play, stream Call of Duty Warzone, Black Ops, or some single player game. While we are playing different games, occasionally he'll ask for a turn on the PS4. I feel like this is part of our bonding time. Do y'all have a specific game that y'all bond over with your kids? Have they talked in their sleep about them? Keep up the great work, Torey. So,
Yes.
man, absolutely amazing. So I do want to get into some of the stories, but first I do want to give some call outs to Torey. Now, as if that isn't enough of a gaming dad win, Torey also puts his streaming and his gaming time towards a great cause. So specifically, we're talking about Extra Life. So with this, you can kind of put your gaming time towards a donation towards a charity of your choice. So you're gaming for a cause, you're gaming for a reason. So if you do find Torey, that's ToreyDeike, and we'll put all the links in our show. He's currently running a donation here on Extra Life. This is for the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. With, amazing cause. Like if you've ever had a little one who's had to go to a hospital, these children's hospitals are an absolute lifeline. So amazing cause. So much so Us New Dad Gaming has donated $50 to his cause. He is got an ambitious goal, and if you would like to support it, I think that'd be wonderful to do so. And amazing on him as a gaming dad to kind of use his hobby to promote a charity and do something for good.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think Gaming Dad Victory of the Week, maybe we move it to Gaming Dad Victory of the Year. And we have a year end.
yeah, I think that might be it. Because and possibly some other donations. But as I said, we were ecstatic to be able to donate to a great cause, and we wish him all the best in continuing to do that. So thank you so much. That is wonderful. Otherwise, if you do want to find him, look up Torey D, Toreyd, on YouTube, where he's been streaming much of his games. He's also on Twitch too. I think you can find the channel. His Twitter is at Shifty25. That's SHIFFTY 25. Great content all around. Gaming dad, charity giver, game backpack sitter with his son.
I was about to say, yeah, he's got his own little backpack, his living backpack there, giving him hints.
The best
and
type,
tips.
a backpack that plays games. What else
Yeah.
could you want?
Yeah.
Now, to hit some of the stories, then besides some games that you've bonded with your kids, we've covered a couple. But if you do want to mention that again in context of the story, have they also then transferred that into dreams? Are the ones that they've had or that they speak out that you've noticed?
See, my kids. Oh, okay. So when they go to sleep, they get really excited and they have to come down and tell me what they're gonna do next in the game. So it's not really much about mentioning things in their dreams and speaking out loud. They need to tell me. So we've had a few instances of that where currently we're playing Subnautica, and they need to know, hey, we need to go get this material because we need to build this base. So they get really excited at night. They have to run down after bedtime when they're not supposed to tell
of
them.
course.
So I'm not sure about you, but that's my experience. That's what I'm going through right now. So I can relate to Torey.
Yeah, so mine's so far. He hasn't yelled it out during sleep, but what he does come to me, and I'm trying to parse this. And if any other gaming dad has a insight in how this actually works, let me know. But he would come to me in the morning. He's like, I had a dream, and in my dream, we were in the game, and then we went over here and we beat this. So
Yeah.
and there's always this story about how we play a game and then something happens.
Right.
So, and it's like, okay, is that wishful thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this like you just woke up and then you decided to try to play me
right?
and say like, hey, I had this dream where we played this game. Isn't that amazing?
We should
Shouldn't we
totally play.
But it certainly seems to be a theme that with if they are really enjoying game and that bonding time, it seems to seep into sleep time, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a big part of their day, and then they just take that into their little dream world. So
Off they go.
good to have.
So an absolutely amazing story. So thank you so much for saying this in, Torey, and for having the ultimate gaming buddy backpack and for playing for an amazing cause as you do. Torey has won this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Congratulations.
If you would like to be nominated or know somebody else deserving, please get a hold of us at our website, newdadgaming.com.
Love it. Such a great story. Now, speaking of kids playing with one another, mine had a somewhat similar story as far as kind of cooperative play or helping one another.
Okay.
Although I'll say it's one helping the other to enjoy himself. And I'm kind of curious if you've had something similar.
Okay.
So specifically, my 5-year-old, we're still on that Lego Marvel 2 grind.
You love it. That's it. That's your life now.
I'm telling you, what has been very cathartic has been the completionist angle.
Okay.
So for me now, it's like, okay, we're going to get every character. So to open this mission, we got to unlock Noir Spidey. To get Noir Spidey, we have to go do this mission. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like, it is a list of tasks.
Yeah.
And he's down for it. And we also, I'll say this, from a couple episodes ago, I talked about trying to teach my son savings, money, and economy through the game, where it's like, okay, if we save everything, we can buy this code that allows us to get 10 times the money.
Yes.
Right? It was a fight. It didn't.
Didn't
It
go
took a
down
lot of missed tries where he bought a lot of bad characters. But we got there, and now all of a sudden, like, money is flowing in.
Right. Yeah.
So that part has actually got much better. So we were able to buy these characters much easier.
Perfect.
As a side update to the previous economy conversation we had 2 episodes back, I think. Now, what was really heartwarming for me was that I was doing some dishes. He was playing his game before I could get around to it. And in game, he is goofing. So he's like, uh-oh, here comes a skeleton. I don't think I'm going to do blah. And then his character would explode.
Yeah.
And my youngest would just die laughing. He is just like falling over in stitches because the thing his older brother's doing is the greatest thing he's ever seen. And this goes on. The best part with kids is that they can kind of keep that same angle for quite a while. And they're doing this for like 20 minutes of just the same like slapstick stuff where he just like fell over laughing. And it just felt like such an awesome gaming dad win to see them using this together to have this moment of levity together. I don't know if do you have a similar, or from what I understand from you, is you had kind of a opposite one where they were being a bit more adversarial in game.
Completely opposite. You know how your kids were just, here, I'll make you laugh. Here's this performance. I'll keep you entertained. Mom and dad won't have to get us involved. It's all good. No, my kids, they egg each other on specifically. So in Minecraft, you can create anything, right? Anything in the world. Anything in your little mind can go that virtual world. And instead of creating something, I don't know, like a big statue or a pyramid or a house to live together in this game, they make obstacle courses for each other. And not obstacle courses that can be completed, just ones that could kill them the quickest. So they one-up each other every single time on how they can make it more difficult and make the other one get upset. And then we have to step in.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so it's not even okay, wait. Let me go through it because even with Mario Maker, which I think would almost be the comparison to this,
yeah,
where it's you before you can publish it, you have to get through it first.
correct.
Now, these courses they're building, is it a total troll in that there's actually no way to do it and they're guaranteed to die? Or does at least seem to be some gamemanship where it's okay, you can beat it, but you're just not likely to?
I think they're very good at giving the other one hope, knowing that there is no hope. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that, like, hey, it looks doable, but it's not. And they end up just making ridiculous courses, which is great. I love the creativity. But again, to try and like, egg your brother on and, make him get frustrated, not the best. So
so
I
true.
would trade a couple minutes with what you have with what I have over here. So
That's so choice because like the effort it would go into just ruining the other's chances, and then the glee as they die, as they go through their twisted parts. Can you walk me through like what are you talking about when one of the courses did? Can you recall any of them in particular through your dad tired brain? Like what are we talking here as far as how maniacal it was?
So we're talking, usually an obstacle course is on the ground. These are sky high posts that are like single blocks. So not only do you have to have like, precision to hop between all these posts up high, they plant some as like they have levers like pressure plates that switch on and switch off other posts. So you just fall to your death at random. So you know how there's like a rhyme and reason and you can kind of figure out an obstacle course on where it's kind of going to go. This is just like you need to die a lot to get through it. And they make it so difficult that like they create these things in like a floaty creative mode where they're hovering and building at the same time, right? So they're not testing it out at all.
They don't know that it works.
And they just like to make these little levers and pressure plates and traps. I'm almost thinking, like Indiana Jones with the sights and the balls rolling after them. Like stuff like that is just where this is. It's coming out in the video game world in Minecraft with my kids. I don't know, maybe I'll introduce them into, that game Dungeon Keeper?
Right.
I think that would be right up their alley in a couple years. They would be totally down for that.
Maybe the old versions where it's not a DLC Nightmare Hellscape, but
yeah, like this on screen, crazy obstacle courses high up in the sky that I don't think I could never complete these, let alone them. So I don't know.
So what is the scenario though with Mario Maker? Because if I understood it, you had it. Did it just was it not free enough in the sense of Minecraft, or was it too hard to just troll one another, so they kind of lost?
I think it was too hard to troll one another because there's a lot more in Minecraft that you can do,
right?
In just terms of those traps, the 3D space of it all, and they're both really into it. Whereas my youngest was into Mario Maker, my oldest didn't really care for it, so he would kind of get into it. But they're both into it, and it's their life's mission right now to like go through and make the next, it's like a Ninja Warrior course. They just make it impossible. So,
man, I kind of want to drill down on this a bit though, because like Minecraft in particular is such an amazing creative play space.
Yeah.
Right. So, is it? Are you fighting with yourself in some ways? Because there's a duality to it where your kids are using it as the ultimate tool to bother one another. Yeah. You don't want them fighting. We can't deal with all this noise and arguments and how you're upsetting the house. But at the same time, you are doing it in the most creative way possible. And I'm not sure how to govern this so that like, have you tried to direct them into a different creative mean? Like, how is this coming about? Because what I feel when you're talking about this is I am so amazingly excited. I would be so amazingly excited to see them being creative in this infinite creative space that is Minecraft.
Yeah, it's kind of that. I've wrestled with it for a while because, like you said, It is very creative, and the things that they think up, I am blown away at what they've consumed through YouTube and applied in this game. And
Wow.
they put their own spin on it. Even my youngest, like he makes like instructional signs through these courses, so he's working on his spelling and reading
Wow.
at the same time. I'm like, okay, this is fantastic. They're having all elements of what they should be learning are being poured into this thing. Yes, there's some arguments, so maybe we can kind of, approach those. And I do talk to my oldest on, like, let your younger brother win a little bit. Where I think back, and I never let my younger brother win. Like, I demolished him in whatever game that we were doing. So I was ruthless. So
I don't know if we have to get the brother on just to verify this. He might deny
we
it.
should phone a friend, like call him in, like get him on the
Yeah.
line.
We might need him to like phone in a story, record
Yeah.
a story of like how he remembers.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
what do you talk? I never once lost to Jeff.
he's the new dad gaming now. Like just throw me out.
Sorry. As an aside, I think we stumbled on another feature. It's like different memories because my brother could probably have. I'm thinking of at least two good stories. Of one, it was when I threw an absolute fit because I lost at EA Madden,
Oh no.
and another where I continually erased his games in Resident Evil. He got so upset.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is brutal.
But that's a teaser for maybe next show. I think we're gonna get some brother stories in.
I think there's a lot there to go through, not only just on therapy and trauma, but
Okay, now is this what would you call it? Is this Minecraft on PC or is it Switches? Like, what do you use to play?
just on the PlayStation. So again,
Okay.
I've been blessed with the PS5, so that's been a Minecraft machine now.
The latest and greatest technologies
Is
to
running
render
this.
the smallest blocks.
Yep, in full 60 frames a second. But yeah, he's playing against his brother on the PS4 down in the basement. So I get to hear them start a voice chat so they can talk to each other and play this game and yell at each other through one level of the house. So
God.
when it gets to that point, we have to cool it a little bit. And I think they're starting to get wise to, hey, if we shut up a little bit, we can game longer versus getting us involved. But yes, I am very proud of their abilities to pick up this game and kind of run with it and figure it out. Especially my youngest, he's applied this through school. And I think I've talked about that before, where he's had school projects done in Minecraft and he can do it. And that's just interesting to me how gaming has evolved into I can do a school project in this world. So I never had that opportunity. So it's good to see. But yeah, arguments, I would give a little bit to have your scenario over there.
Well-
Make me laugh, brother. This is great.
I think you might be able to get there, and especially if they really do get wise to the nicer we are, the longer we
Yeah.
play. Sounds like it's smoothing. And I think as gaming dads, that is a dream that you have these kids on these consoles and they're using every ounce of their creativity to create like fascinating things that you would never think about.
Yeah.
That is, I cannot wait to get there. So it sounds like this is a Freaky Friday scenario where we got to switch into each other's shoes for a
Yeah.
little while.
Absolutely. We should try to.
But with that, I think we will wrap it up there for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Do you have a Minecraft scenario in your house? Do you have a example of your kids playing together? Would love to hear from you. Big thanks again to Torey, who submitted the Gaming Dad Victory of the Week to us through Twitter. I'd highly suggest you do the same. We would love to get your story up here on the podcast, reach out to you. So if you'd like to get a hold of us for any of that or more, you can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com. You can find us at Twitter and Instagram at newdadgaming. Would love to hear from you, produce anything for the show, or just share your stories as we go. If you like the podcast, you like to subscribe, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, any of the major podcasting networks. You can find us there. Just search for New Dad Gaming. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and a 8-year-old, and I have to go play some obstacle courses in Minecraft to see if they're beatable. So,
Not sure if it would be. So we'd introduced a couple weeks ago the new catchphrase. Do you remember it, Jeff?
Oh yes, yes. When you become a dad, it doesn't. No, hold on.
So initially, I was
Just
going.
because.
Hold on, I was
Hold on.
initially going to edit that in the final cut
No,
very
you should
smoothly. I am
absolutely
no
keep it.
longer going to.
No, absolutely keep it.
Do you remember?
Just because you came. No, okay. Just
You're
because you
close.
became a dad.
Doesn't mean it's game over.
There you go. I got it. It's new, so we're gonna get it down.
Old 6-take Jeff at it again. Let's see you next week.
See you later.